The next presentation is from Tulla Resources with the ticker code TUL. Tulla is a company focused on developing the historically producing high-grade Norseman Gold Project in Western Australia. To tell us more, I will introduce you to the Executive Director, Mark Maloney. Hello, Mark.
Hey, Jane. Thanks for having us. It's great to be here.
Wonderful. Let me bring up your presentation.
Great. So, we're Tulla Resources. As Jane said, we're focused on developing the historical producing high-grade Norseman Gold Project. We listed earlier this year, and we're really excited to be part of this project and taking it forward. So just a quick corporate snapshot. At the moment, our business is 50% interest of the Norseman Gold Project. It's located in the eastern Goldfields, Tier 1 location, and we also believe it's a Tier 1 asset. We've got a DFS out there. The project has an initial 7-year phase, and we expect to commence production in the second half, early second half of calendar 2022. At the moment, we're really focused on recommencing the production and fast-tracking the cash flow. We'll continue to drill and expand on the resource and reserve side, which we've been quite successful at to date. And we've also recently started assessing opportunities in iron ore, lithium, and nickel at the project, which we believe will yield significant value in the longer term. I think everyone says they have a very experienced board and management team. I also strongly believe that is the case for us. Many years of experience from both our directors and our management. Kevin Maloney, our chairman, has a long history in resource finance, resource investing, and resource operations. He's been chairman and director and founder of many companies in the space, both the mining and mining services space, and has had a very successful track record in executing in that area. Mike Anglin and Andy Greville, our key non-executive directors, very experienced guys, having worked for BHP and Xstrata in senior positions around the world, both very experienced in bringing new operations into production, working in joint ventures, which is key here, and also in business development opportunities. We also have the benefit of their great network and deal flow for opportunities going forward. We've invested heavily in the controls and corporate governance space. That's really important to us, and also heavily on the technical side. Again, that has been a very strong focus for us, and we've recently formed an alliance with Mining Associates, which we think brings an extra overlay of technical support to what we're doing here. Just some key highlights. The Norseman project is very high grade, low cost. Average production, we're expecting just over 100,000 ounces a year, ramping up from there. Plenty of exploration upside in the property, which we'll talk about. And we believe since listing with our operating partner and manager, Pantoro, we've been really delivering on that and some great examples of it. We have a very well-defined growth strategy for the immediate future. The focus is to double the ore reserve to around 1.2 million ounces. And that is very much on track for the end of 2022 financial year. We talked about the experienced board and management team, and we believe that is a real value add for us here. And I'll just highlight that we believe we have a very robust balance sheet, strong cash position, debt-free, and we also own 7% of our operating partner, which at current prices is worth about $20 million. So we're in this joint venture arrangement. We ran an extensive process in 2019 to find the right operating partner for us. We believe our value add or skill set is in identifying assets, developing them, and then bringing in good operators. That we found in Pantoro. The reason we liked Pantoro was that they were a young emerging operating team with very good backgrounds in big companies, but some real successes in their own right starting to emerge. We also liked them over doing a deal with the bigger guys because we believed Norseman would be significant enough to their business to make a difference and get their full attention. We've been in that relationship with them since May 2019 now, and it's been a very good relationship, and we're very happy with how they've been operating and the results that they have delivered. It's all been as expected. As far as the joint venture and how it operates, they are the manager, as I've said. We've got a committee established, which Kevin Maloney is our representative of. The role of the committee is to supervise the manager and make strategic decisions. The overriding principle on how it operates is best for project and focusing on an equitable, reasonable return for both parties. So fairly standard there. So a bit more about the Norseman Gold Project. It is a mining camp operation with multiple centres, 6 centres with the initial focus, with 4 really being key that are outlined there. The approvals to commence construction and get going on the project are in place. There's a lot of high quality infrastructure already there, which I'll talk about on the existing page. And I think to really highlight that there's very large endowment of land there, extensive project. And phase 1 has really only looked at less than 30% of the mineral resource areas. So in our view, a lot more to come. One of the great attractions to this project for us was the huge amount of existing infrastructure already in place. Really, the only thing we're doing here is putting in place a new processing plant. Construction will commence on that imminently. And it's a 1 million tonne per annum plant, but with easy flexibility to go to 1.5 million tonnes. Accommodation, high quality accommodation is there and ready to go. The airstrip is there. At the moment, workforce will be going through Kalgoorlie, as I understand it, but there is a proposal to resurface that airstrip. Power in place, water, tailings, roads, all in very good condition. So the beauty of this is it obviously has led to a much lower upfront capex to other projects, and also allowed us to get quicker into production. Just some highlights from the DFS, which is phase 1 and been within the market for some time now. 600,000 ounces of reserves at reasonably high grade. As I said, really only touched just less than 30% of the mineral resource, and a very low conversion cost there as well, worth taking note of. Again, just to reaffirm that we're on track to double the ore reserve by 30th of June next year, as we've been highlighting to the market. Just to give you an idea of the project timeline, as I said, approvals to start construction have been finalised. That will be commencing very soon, with a view that we commence production then in August next year. We get a lot of questions about materials pricing and labour, given the current environment. Most materials for the plant have been purchased with prices locked in, and GR, who are doing the construction for us, are guiding that labour is within expectations too. So we're quite comfortable with the capex estimate that we currently have in the market. Just really to highlight, we've talked about phase 1, phase 2. There's some other areas. We've got some good extensions at Scotia, a new area in Green Lantern, and then some other options. Yeah, we've put out some very good results at Scotia, and also in the Mainfield, which again is probably better to find on the next page, Jane, if we go there. Yeah, so for Scotia, you can see there some very good grade results, particularly at low depths. Within that, we've had the green lantern discovery with a maiden mineral resource and ore reserve, which we put out last month. We're pretty excited and proud about that, and I think it kind of shows the strength of what we have there and gives you some insight into future opportunities that that will emerge. There's plenty more to come behind that. Again, just some more on Green Lantern, which people can have a look at in their own time. Beyond the success we've had at Scotia and Green Lantern, we've also been doing work on the Mainfield. It's the most prolific mining area at Norseman to date. You know, some successes there, very high grade mineralization accounted again, which you can see there for yourself. So we're quite excited about the opportunities that will emerge there and that we've been seeing from Mainfield too. For those who really want to get into the geology of the area, there's a page there worth looking at. What I'd highlight again is just the extensive land holding and the multiple gold deposits that occur over a strike length of 70 kilometers. There's a lot there to get excited about. So, you know, historically, Norseman has produced around 6 million ounces at very high grade. It's in that world-class greenstone belt. Again, tier 1 asset in a tier 1 region. Just to remind you that we see significant exploration upside, and that has been demonstrated through the announcements we've made on Scotia and Green Lantern, and we believe that there's plenty more to come. Again, reminding you of the guidance that will double the reserves by the end of this financial year. Norseman has a very long history, very successful in the early days with Western Mining behind it. It had some issues in recent years, and some of those related to the companies at the time having hedging issues, and others revolving around just not having a systematic approach to mining it, and a fair amount of reserves ahead. What is different here in the approach that our operating partners and ourselves have been taking is a very systematic approach, and making sure that there is a decent life ahead of us in reserves as we move forward. We believe that's a very, very different strategy to what has been employed there in recent years. So just to finish off on our overall strategy, obviously the first priority is to bring the Norseman Gold Project back into production, to start getting some cash flow generated. We'll continue to focus on the exploration side and spend money there. We believe that's important, and the money spent so far has yielded exceptional returns. Beyond that, as I highlighted at the beginning of the presentation, we believe there's real opportunities in iron ore, lithium, and nickel, and we're exploring opportunities there involving farm-ins and joint venture partners, looking at potential spin-offs, and there has been parties that have shown real interest in that. And again, Norseman's in a region where there are other companies seeing quite good success in those minerals, particularly lithium and iron ore, well, nickel as well. So that is real. And down the track, the focus will continue to be on gold and battery metals. We like, as I said, identifying assets that are near-term producers, developing them a little, bringing in good operating joint venture partners, and working with them to continue to enhance the value there. Yeah, I think that's it. So over to questions.
Mark, thank you for the great presentation. We've had a few questions come through, particularly on the other commodities that are at Norseman. So I know you did mention it, but do you want to just reiterate what's sort of the strategy for those particular commodities, including iron ore and lithium?
Yeah, I think just to say that again, so there is iron ore, lithium, and nickel there. It is early days, but we're starting to do some more work on those areas, and we are looking to engage with parties in relation to farm-ins and spin-offs. We believe there is real interest there, and it is something we will continue to focus on.
And just finally, Mark, so what can shareholders look forward to over the coming weeks and months?
I think there's a lot to look forward to. As I said, we're about to commence construction, which I think is a big milestone for any project. There's been a lot of drilling going on and will continue to go on, so more announcements around that. Obviously, reserve upgrades, given I've talked about doubling our reserves. Hopefully in the medium term, some good news on the other minerals. And then I think production next year is going to be a key milestone as well.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for joining us today. A copy of today's recording will be available online, and the presentation has been lodged with the ASX. So if you have further questions, please feel free to reach out via the contact details on the bottom of the presentation. But Mark, thank you for joining us.